This is a special presentation of Way 31 Sports. Way 31, your home for high school football.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out high. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. Yeah, Way 31 is rocking all right. Nolan, Max, Xavier, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Band and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
It's the postseason. From the hot July summer sun to now the crisp fall air. Everything that these teams have worked for came down to tonight. It's week 2 of the AHSAA football playoffs. Hello and welcome into the week 2 playoff edition of Big Game Friday Night. Everyone, I'm Nolan Knight, joined here by Max Cohan, and tonight we have some big time matchups, Max.
Yeah, you said it. We got to see some of the state's best teams go head to head, and 2 of the area's best did just that in our Big Game Friday Night playoff game of the week.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mars Hill hit the road to take on Geraldine for our game of the week, and our own Xavier Wary was on the sidelines for this one.
You know, we've reached that point in the season where records no longer matter. For the first time ever, the Geraldine Bulldogs and the Mars Hill Panthers faced off against one another. For Mars Hill, they're looking to win their 3rd state championship since 2018. Geraldine has yet to win a state title. Let's see how tonight's second-round playoff matchup played out. We travel to DeKalb County for this second-round playoff matchup between the Mars Hill Panthers and the Geraldine Bulldogs. And on the opening possession, Griffin Hansen pitches this one to William Owens, who follows his lead blockers and breaks one tackle before being brought down after moving the chains. And a few plays later, Hansen's going to fake the handoff and air this one down the field, connecting with Cannon Pig for a big gain. And that would lead to this. Jay Dobbs takes this one up the gut for the first points of the ball game. Panthers up 7-0. But the question would be, how would the Bulldogs respond? Quarterback Jackson Colvin is going to take the snap and keep it himself, picking up some key yards for the Bulldogs. But this is the play that will give them life. Hayes pitches it to Caleb Hall, and Hall decides to air this one down the sideline, connecting with Cody Satterfield for the big Bulldogs first down. That drive, however, would only lead to 3 as the Bulldogs head into the locker room down 7-3. But it was the Bulldogs in the second half who found new life, scoring 2 key touchdowns, defeating the Panthers 17-14 and advancing to the 3rd round of the playoffs. I'm with Geraldine's head football coach, Michael Davis. Coach, listen, in the eyes of many, you all were underdogs, but you all gutted out a tough victory tonight. What did it take?
Just took our guys, playing with a lot of guts, through injury, through all the hard, everyone at this season, at this point in the season is hurt. Our guys just showed a lot of guts, and they wanted to continue to play, a lot of fight, and our guys, just relentless guys, relentless effort all night, and just super proud of them.
Coach, the atmosphere tonight was absolutely electric. What can you say about it?
I love our community. I feel like we have the best community. They come out to the Dog Pound tonight, and they were a big part of it. I think home field advantage really played a part in our game tonight. Coach,
on your way to the 3rd round, how does that feel?
We're going to enjoy this one, and us as coaches are going to go and we're going to start tonight. But our guys need to enjoy it and embrace the moment, because they'll be talking about this the rest of their life. It's what it's all about, and I love our guys.
Coach, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
And look, the final score in this one is 17-14. The Geraldine Bulldogs defeat the Mars Hill Panthers for the first time ever in this matchup. Now listen, next week they will play the winner of either Madison Academy or Sylvania. But for now, reporting live in Geraldine, Xavier Wary, Way 31 Sports.
So there you have it, Geraldine advancing to the quarterfinals of the 3A playoffs.
Yeah, we had another all-North Alabama showdown, as Xavier just said, taking place in that 3A bracket. Madison Academy hoping to return to the state quarterfinals, taking on a scrappy Sylvania team. And man, did this game turn out to be a shootout. It was Sylvania that got the fireworks going first. Hand off to Aiden Parham, and he stutter steps, finds a hole, and explodes. You're not going to catch him. He takes this one all the way to the house, 7-0 ball game. But the Mustangs would strike back. Hand off to Ken Cherry, and check out this run. He runs through one tackle, gets some blocks, and he finishes it off by lowering the shoulder. First down Mustangs, and a few plays later, Carson Crehan to Jackson Reese to tie the game at 7 apiece, just like that. But the Mustangs would get a turnover and put the ball in the hands of Joshua Williams, and he breaks 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare touchdown. Madison Academy back on top 14-7. Sylvania would respond with another Parham touchdown, but Madison Academy, they have so many weapons. Judson Collins on the receiving end of this one. The Mustangs extend their lead, but it's the Rams that come from behind to win this one in overtime. 48-45, a massive win for Sylvania. Staying in the 3A bracket, Colbert County was at home tonight taking on Piedmont in the second round. And early on, the Indians defense came to play. How about a big sack for the D-line there, and good defense would lead to good offense. Handoff to Nortarian Hampton. He takes the handoff around the right side, and man, you're not going to catch him. He's down the far sideline and in for the score. The Indians out on top early, and it was slippery out there tonight. The guys facing the elements. Piedmont would respond to that first quarter score on the goal line when Aaron Haynes keeps this one for himself. He walks it in for the touchdown. It was back and forth early on. In the end, though, it's Piedmont who takes this one on the road, 42-20. Lauderdale County was the other area team in action tonight in 3A, taking on Gordo, and the Tigers' season comes to an end, unfortunately, 44-14 the final in that one. So here's a look at the 3A bracket after all those games. The Geraldine Bulldogs will go up against Sylvania, and it's Piedmont set to take on Gordo, all looking to punch their ticket to the semifinals.
As is common at this point in the playoffs, we have another meeting of teams that have never met. In this one, it's Deschler looking to keep their perfect season alive against Etowah. We jump in with the Tigers up 22-zip, but not for long. Etowah is on the attack. A handoff to Josh Graham might have you thinking 6, but Deschler forces him out just short. The Blue Devils would score anyway. Trace Thompson to Jamison Sissom in the corner of the end zone, and now things start to get interesting. Deschler's Price Thornton with time, and he's going to give this one a long toss-up, and Trenton Bothwell picks it off. That would put Thompson in a position to show off his scramble skills, going cha-cha slide style around the defense to get closer to the goal line. They finish this drive off as Sissom hauls in another touchdown pass, make that 14 unanswered to respond, but in the end, it's the Tigers who are able to squeeze out the win, 36-33 the final in that one. Priceville and Aniana meeting for the first time since 2015 as the Bulldogs put their undefeated season on the line against the Redskins. And when you're trying to keep an 11-game win streak alive, the last thing you want to see is a kickoff return touchdown to get things started. Keegan Hill fields this one and decides to give his defense his offense a rest as he takes this one all the way to the house. Hill was quoted saying, "I just felt like running" as he crossed the goal line. Just kidding, but he was serious about the kick return. So now Priceville has to respond, and it's Xander Gaines submitting his resume for American Ninja Warrior as he darts through the defense and into the end zone. Unfortunately, that score wouldn't tie the game because the Bulldogs' extra point was blocked. The Skins would go back to the ground game for their next score. Demarion Bothwell with the easy points. And then a little later, it's Jaden Gordon picking off Landon Abernathy on a pass that looked like it was thrown right to him. In the end, it's Aniana who comes out on top in this one, 34-20. West Morgan and Cherokee County both had perfect records at home. The Warriors played host tonight and take it by a final of 42-28, while Randolph made the trek to Dora, and the Raiders survive and advance 47-37. All right, well, let's go ahead and take this time to call our first time of the show.
Yeah, but don't go anywhere because coming up next, we head to Hartselle to check in on the undefeated Tigers.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night Playoff Edition, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Some of the state's best teams squared off tonight on the gridiron, and that was the case at Hartselle, where the Tigers put their perfect season on the line against Center Point.
Yeah, could the Tigers keep up their regular season success in the postseason? Early on, not a good start for the Tigers. Quarterback Jack Smith throws a dart right to center points. Jamari Johnson, who runs it into the Tigers' red zone, and the Eagles would take advantage as running back Troy Bruce Jr. takes a handoff from Jabari Collier, and he takes an easy stroll to give the Eagles an early lead. And then down 14, the Tigers get back in the game. Jack Smith connects with wideout Isaiah Fletcher. He takes this one to the house to bring some life back into the Tigers sideline and crowd to make things a one-score game. The Tigers would run off this new energy. Rye Fletcher rushes this one into the end zone as if there's no tomorrow, taking a nasty hit under the waist, but holding on for the score. Hartzell wins this one 36-26, moving their perfect season now to 12-0. And after the game, Wade 31 was able to catch up with Hartzell head man Brian Moore.
You know, we had to kind of get used to that speed, man. And, you know, they got a great football team, and we didn't start very fast. You know, we spotted them 14 points. They scored their first offensive possession. We had a turnover on our first drive. We had a drive that went inside the one that we didn't score on. That can't happen. So, you know, again, we just played a little bit cleaner in the second half.
All right, so who will the Tigers face in the next round? The answer to that is Mountain Brook after the Spartans roll it against the Titans 37-6.
Decatur and Gardendale last met in 2007. That year, the Red Raiders made it all the way to the third round of the playoffs and look to do the same tonight with a win. So it's out to Ogle Stadium where defense was king in the red zone. On the opening drive of the game, Gardendale's Tyler Nelson drops back and hits Logan Fitzgerald, who avoids the defender and takes off for a nice gain. It looks like he has space, but he's down inside the 10. Even with the momentum, they'd be forced to kick a field goal and take the points 3-0 Rockets. And after forcing a Decatur punt, Gardendale takes over and Jonathan Harris breaks free. A huge gain, but believe it or not, he's kept out of the end zone. Derek Cutler chases him down and stops him inside the 5. Again, they're forced to kick, but this time it's no good. But the Red Raiders couldn't get anything going, so the Rockets have another shot at the end zone. This time on fourth down, it's a full Nelson. Tyler Nelson to Justin Nelson for a Gardendale touchdown, 10-0 Rockets. The Red Raiders would get on the board, but it wouldn't be enough. Gardendale takes it 31-7. 2013 was the last time the Trojans played the Thundering Herd, a 31-point shutout for Muscle Shoals, and looking for their first 10-win season in 3 years, they traveled to take on Parker. The Thundering Herd strike first. Malik Muhammad on the keeper down the left side for 39 yards to set up Martavius Purnell. He caps off the 87-yard drive with this 48-yard touchdown, and it's 6-0 Parker. Early in the second, Devin Townsend on the carry gets popped, but somehow stays on his feet, picking up the first down, but not the touchdown. That would be Jalen Goodwin. He takes the handoff and finds an opening for a 7-yard touchdown run. Muscle Shoals on top 7-6. 6 seconds left to go in the first half. Muhammad shuts the ball deep, and Xavier Johnson intercepts it as time expires, and Muscle Shoals has the 10-win season, taking the second round battle 31-7.
Moving our attention to the 5A playoffs now, one of the area's best teams all season has been Arab. The Knights found themselves hosting a second-round playoff game tonight against Moody. This game was high-scoring, just like we thought it would be, and it was Moody who would get things going first. Chase Jackson looks deep for Davion Dozier to take an early lead in this one, but the Knights would strike right back. Check out this catch. Aiden Cox with the deep ball to Brody McCain, and somehow it comes down with it to set up the Knights into the red zone, and they would capitalize. Drake Franklin takes the handoff, he makes a cut, and he's in for the score. Arab with the response, but Moody elects to go back to the air, and it's the right decision. It's Davion Dozier again. This time he's going to cut back after the catch, breaks a tackle, and takes it to the house. But if you know Arab, they weren't going to let that stop then. Drake Franklin with his second score of the night, this time from 16 yards out right here. It was a shootout, and in the end, Arab's offense shines the brightest. 42-20 the final, and Wake 31 was able to catch up with head coach Lee Osment after the game.
Kids, they came out here to play a football game, and the end result is historical, and I appreciate all that. But our kids came out here with a purpose. Our kids came out here with a lot of character, and they played this game with a lot of character, and that showed tonight. And you know, we made some mistakes, but we had the character to overcome it. I'm so proud of our kids for accomplishing this, but we're not done. I mean, we're not. We got a lot of work to do. We're gonna get to work, and we're gonna get prepared for next week.
All right, Russellville, another team at home tonight, hosting a second-round game. They were taking on Pleasant Grove, but the Golden Tigers, they fall to the Spartans in this one, 37-14.
And in yet another meeting of two complete strangers, Leeds hosted Scottsboro. The Green Wave keep their season perfect with the 35-10 win over the Wildcats. All right, well, let's go ahead and call our second timeout of the night.
Yeah, but coming up next, we turn our attention to the 2A playoffs. Lexington thinking that they have what it takes to advance to the quarterfinals.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Go Panthers! Go!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
I'm Pride Marching Band, and you're watching Big Game Friday night on Way 31.
All right, how about that? A big congratulations to the Geraldine High School Marching Band for winning this week's Flow Air Spirit Trampoline Park Spirit Award.
They're a big part of the reason that Bulldogs games are so much fun to attend, and that is a very well-deserved honor.
All right, how about we get back to some football now? In the 2A playoffs, the Lexington Bears were hosting Tuscaloosa Academy tonight in this second round. The Bears think they have a team that can win it all this year, but Tuscaloosa Academy is a talented squad. We picked this one up in the first, and the Knights are threatening James Standard on the end around, and he's going to be pushed out inside the 5 by the Bears. But to start the second quarter, the Knights would punch it in. Sherabiah Jones punches it in for the score. Tuscaloosa Academy takes a 7-0 lead. But on their next drive, Lexington would find some life. Hand off to Brandon Allen coming up. He's going to weave his way through the Knights defense, and it's going to set up a first down. And this play here would lead to points on the same drive. Nice run from the running back there. Byron Lane this time gets the signal, and he makes the most of it. He's in from 5 yards out. The Bears bring it within just 1 point. This game would come down to just 3 seconds on the clock, and Tuscaloosa Academy wins it with this 51-yard game-winning field goal, 23-20. Heartbreaking loss for the Bears, and Jason Lard couldn't believe it after the game.
These seniors to lose like that, I mean, 0.3 seconds. I mean, I don't even know if you don't have 0.6 seconds, and I mean, the clock should have run out and you're going to overtime. I mean, 0.3 seconds, that's crazy. I've never seen that before. I don't know how you stop a clock with 0.3 seconds. So I just hate it for guys. They played their guts out this year, and I just hate it has in like that.
The top team in 2A took care of business in the second round. A matchup taken on Winston County tonight, 35-6 the final in that one. They're advancing to the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, in the other 2A playoff action, the Eagles of Pisgah take home the dub against Southeastern, while Aliceville moves on to the next round with a 38-21 win over Falkville.
Valley Head and Marion County only met once in a Red Raiders victory way back in 1972. Tonight the Tigers had revenge on their mind, 50 years in the making, but it will stay on their minds even longer. The Red Raiders take this one in comfortable fashion, 27-6. Now to Tennessee, where the undefeated Class 1 Fayetteville Tigers were playing takeaway defense against Dresden. The Tigers come away with the football, and now it's time for the offense to go to work. Quarterback Samuel Willoughby drops back, and he drops in a perfect pass to Alex Young. That puts the Tigers in the scoring zone. Very next play, Algeray Johnson takes the handoff and takes it into the end zone. Give him 6. Tigers fans celebrating the early lead, and the Tigers be giving fans a lot to cheer about. Later, Johnson getting it done on the other side of the ball with the sack. Johnson's teammates on the defensive side keeping the Lions bothered up. Calvin Hughes and Alex Young combined for the sack. Fayetteville, they advance to take this one, 42-17. All right, let's take our third and final timeout of the night.
Yeah, but coming up next week, close up shop with your Knights top lights introduced to you tonight's Big Game Friday Night Fan of the Night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night.
Jackson McCurry, Big Game Friday Night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight and throughout the season.
High school football is nothing without the fans, and to celebrate that, we introduce you to our premier urgent care fan of the night.
My name's Hayden Mitchell, and I'm the Big Game Friday Night fan of the night. Go Rams!
Big congratulations to Hayden Mitchell for being named this week's Premier Urgent Care Fan of the Night. He's a senior at Sylvania and is also a member of the baseball team as well as SGA, a well-deserving fan. All right, well, that'll wrap things up here for Big Game Friday Night. A big thank you to all of our producers and shooters for helping make this show possible all season long.
And thank you to our radio sponsors for helping make this show run. We truly could not do it without all of them.
All right, well, that's going to wrap things up here on the Week 2 of the playoff edition of Big Game Friday Night.
We'll end things the way we did all season with your Big Game Friday Night Top Lights.
Good night, everybody.
Watching a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.